everyone. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Around the Water Cooler with any DNR. Today it's me, Devin.
And Alexa, hi.
And today we're here with Mike Thompson from our Groundwater Well Permitting Division. Mike, do you want to give yourself a little intro and talk about what you do?
Sure. So we register all of the water wells that are drilled in the state, and we do a little bit of permitting for well spacing and certain municipal and industrial programs, but mostly it's well registrations. And the reason that we do that is the overarching purpose of it is to protect the groundwater, and knowing where the wells are and how they're constructed, important part of that. And we do have a pretty detailed set of information that we require with the well registrations. The vast majority of registrations are submitted to us by the well contractors who actually construct the wells, and that information is used by natural resources districts, the well owners, and researchers to once again protect the groundwater and help manage the resources.
Thanks for that intro. And today we're here to talk about your guys' accomplishments. Just want to dive into that?
You bet. So I took a look at, kind of reflected on the last year, and we've made quite a few improvements, a lot of incremental improvements to our online information that's available, and also some resources for well owners. We updated our website, collaborating with our IT division. We have a great IT division, both in terms of looking up well information and also retrieving information. Our online mapping, interactive maps, and a feature we call the Map It system routinely get 15 to 20,000 visits. So it's a very popular site, very useful, interested in water wells. In the last year, well, actually 2.5 years, we've been assisting rural residents who need to register their domestic wells, basically their house wells, to be eligible for a rebate program that was administered by the Department of Environment and Energy in areas where there's higher nitrate concentrations that exceed 10 parts per million, which is the federal drinking water threshold. The domestic well owners were able to apply for a rebate to get a reverse osmosis system installed in their house. The part of the program required that the domestic wells be registered. However, in Nebraska, domestic wells are not required to be registered if they were completed before September 9th, 1990.
Wow, that sounds like it was kind of a big undertaking. Do you have any kind of guidance documents that maybe have helped well owners throughout the process of registering their well?
Yes, when we became aware of this program, we immediately sensed that there would be a significant uptick in calls and requests for assistance. Like I said before, typically these days, the water well contractors are registering the wells, but we do have a process that we developed that simplifies the registration for older wells, and we can work directly with the well owners to get that done. There's just 12 key pieces of information that we require on the registration form. The form can be kind of daunting to non-professionals that are in the water well industry. It's a 4-page form. So for these homeowners and these domestic wells, we've provided some tools in our website and some guidance documents that are very specific to registering these domestic wells. And the key pieces of information are fairly simple. We often would be helping a person over the phone who didn't have ready access to the internet. These are rural residents. And so many times we talk to the person and they would describe where their well is located, and it was kind of fun because they'd say, there's a hackberry tree and it's just north of that. And we can see the trees, we don't know what kind of tree it is, but we were always able to come up with the information, and we could just read it back to them, and they were able to fill out their forms and get their wells registered. I think over the course of the program, which ran about 2.5 years, we handled hundreds of phone calls, sent lots of instructional emails to folks that were internet savvy, and the rebates are worth up to several $1,000s for each home. But the safe drinking water is pretty much priceless. So during that period, we registered almost 450 old domestic wells to help.
So it sounds like you did a lot of work adding and improving information that's on the website. Can you talk a little bit more about that and your workload?
We've steadily made improvements over the years, and working, we have, like I said, we have a great IT team, computer programmers, and also geographic information specialists that really help us fine-tune and adjust to the needs of our customers. And just to run a few numbers by, in the last year, we registered 3,400 wells. 84% of those were registered through our online portal. 220 of those wells in the last year were those wells we were talking about that were the older domestic wells related to the reverse osmosis rebate program. We received 1,000 plus pump installation and modification forms. So anytime a well seal is open and work's done on the well to change anything inside the well, we require a form so that we have up-to-date information about the status of that well. We also processed over 2,900 ownership changes. We try to keep up with the ownership of the wells. There's probably about 200,000 wells that are active and inactive in the state, so it's a lot of ownerships to keep track of. Older wells that are no longer in service are properly decommissioned by licensed contractors. We processed over 1,650 decommissioning forms last year. And any well that's going to pump more than 50 gallons a minute requires a permit from the local natural resources district. We tightly collaborate with the NRD personnel, and we processed over 730 permits last year. So we were very busy.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys had your hands full. I mean, with your 3 staff members and all those stats that you just had, it's no shortage of work there for you guys.
So if anybody has any questions on your division, who can they contact?
I would just say you can give me a call, Mike Thompson. My number is 402-471-0587. But like I said, you can go to DNR.Nebraska.gov and click on the groundwater section, and there's just a wealth of information within that section. We've got it compartmentalized for specific assistance to well contractors, to natural resources district folks, and to landowners. So I'd say go check out that website, and there's also links to our interactive map. Amazing amount of information.
All right, well, thank you so much for talking about your accomplishments this year, and I think break time's over.
Break time's over.